This is my wildlife pond, and it's been a passion project of mine for the last 3 years. So in this video, I want to share a few of the mistakes and tips that I've learned along the way to help any of you out there that are thinking of building a wildlife pond. Hey everyone, welcome back to Only Nature. If you're new here, my name is Tom and I make videos about my passion for nature and wildlife. Of course, if you're watching this video, I know you're interested in my wildlife pond, and I've got a whole playlist dedicated to my series, which I'll link down below. But for right now, let's get back to talking about the pond itself. Now, the first thing to consider is location, and here are a few things to bear in mind. First of all, look for any overhanging trees. You want to avoid this because falling leaves will end up in your pond, and this is a bad thing because it will actually increase the nutrient-rich waters and therefore encourage a higher growth in algae. The other things to consider are sunlight and shade. Now, ideally, I would recommend a mix of the two. Plants both in and around your pond will benefit from direct sunlight throughout the day, but bear in mind early morning sunshine is of great benefit to amphibians as it'll warm up the water around them. The reason I would include some shade to the pond is actually because too much sunlight will again increase that chance in algae. Another thing to obviously consider is how level your ground is. Unfortunately, my entire garden is on somewhat of a slope, so I knew that was something that I was going to have to deal with. Unfortunately, the mistake I made was that I should have leveled the ground before actually digging any part of my pond, but instead I rushed in, and if I'd have taken that bit of extra time to begin with, I could have saved myself a lot of trouble along the way. But that's my mistake, and hopefully you can learn from that. Starting with a level ground will not only make your job easier in the long run, but there are also a few benefits to it. One, it'll help you in planting marginal plants, so shelving along the edges of your pond is a good idea, but it will also help with wildlife. Should anything like a hedgehog happen to fall in your pond, a nice shallow edge will mean that the animals can escape it and not end up stuck inside your pond. Shallow edges are also great if you're looking to photograph birds around the pond like I have. And it really makes for a nice shot when you can see them bathing and drinking around the edges of the pond, and they will only do that on the shallower edges. Unfortunately, my pond does have some steep edges on one side, but in some ways that kind of helped in steering the wildlife to where I actually wanted to photograph them. It was partly intentional, but if I could do it again, I would have kept the shallow edges all the way around the pond. I did try to compensate this, but the downside to that was the location of my pond ended up creeping closer to the neighboring hedge. Here you can see I didn't leave enough space between the hedge and the edge of the pond, and this will become an issue when maintaining the pond and cutting this back in the future. Regardless of pond size, I would always recommend having full access to the entire surroundings of your pond. It'll really help with maintenance and general upkeep of the pond. Something I wish I'd done sooner was to actually add more plants earlier on. And not just plants, but logs and stones, like the ones you can see here. Now, I know adding pond plants seems obvious, but one thing that I actually made the mistake of was waiting too long to add more. In my head, I had the idea that I would first add a few plants, see how they grew, see how they looked, and then continue to add them as the pond kind of developed. But actually, I wish I just added more straight away, and this would have really helped with not only encouraging and helping wildlife, but reducing the algae bloom that eventually came into my pond. Adding pond plants actually reduces the nutrient levels within the water and therefore prevents things like algae and helps keep your pond not only oxygenated, but also nice and clear. And the best thing you can do to keep those nutrient levels low is to first fill your pond with rainwater. Avoid tap water as this is naturally higher in nutrients, which algae obviously loves. And even better yet, try adding a bucket of water from an already existing wildlife pond. It'll be full of healthy bacteria and microorganisms that will really benefit and aid your pond, giving it the best possible start. As for the sticks and rocks, I've still been adding those, and I really enjoyed experimenting with their placement, the position, and just various things around the pond to kind of change the way it looks and feels. I really wish I'd done this sooner. I did start, but actually there's no limit to how much you could add to your pond. So keep going with it. And that's what I plan to do. I hope you found this video useful. And if you have any recommendations or think there's something I've missed, and please leave a comment down below, and be sure to check other people's comments. I've had some really great feedback from everyone so far over all of the videos that I've done, and I really appreciate it. So please keep them coming. You have taught me a lot, and I hope that I've taught you something along the way. So don't forget to keep experimenting, and above all, have fun, enjoy the experience, and good luck with your wildlife pond.